Is Brandy around? Do I cheat? Do I cheat? Well, the conversation is really about cheat meals and cheat food and cheat day. Because if you are a fitness bro or gal, you've all heard Sunday fun day, it's cheat day. You got to cheat on your diet, they say. Cheat, 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 cheat. Cheating is actually good for you, but is it? What does the science say? I'm going to break down the science here. Very informative scientific information I'm going to bring to you while also sharing first person experience in my own self with my own health, but also working with thousands and thousands and thousands of humans over the years. What actually works? Well, briefly, we know. How many people do you know? You yourself, you cheat on Sunday. You cheat once or twice a week. You have a little cheat. You have a little treat. You break your diet. Typically, you break your diet with what? You break your diet with hyper palatable foods. Let's drop me down here as I briefly help you understand. Well, first and foremost, what is a hyper palatable food or a highly palatable food? An HPF, as we in the industry call it. And there was a study done, and this is posted. I will put these links below. There was a study done by legitimate scientists trying to determine, well, number one, exactly what is a hyper palatable food. These are commonly known as fast foods or sweets, cake, candies. We can also call these cheat foods. So we know by the terminology we use that these are bad for us. We're cheating. Cheating is not a good thing. Go ask your sweetie if you can go out and cheat on them. Not a good thing. Go ask Tex if he minds if you cheat while playing a hand of poker. See how well that works out for you. We know cheating is bad and has negative repercussions, but somehow we choose to cheat nutritionally. And we do this typically with hyper palatable foods. Now, briefly, research has been done to try and determine specifically what are hyperpalatable foods, what are cheat foods. And they used a specific method which gives us an idea. And I just want to briefly read this to you so you understand as we continue on. Well, they found from their literature that there's three basic clusters of what they determine hyperpalatable foods. Now, hyperpalatable foods are foods that when once you pop, you just can't stop. You can't eat just one. You can easily eat one cookie as easily as you can eat the entire sleeve. Well, it doesn't work like that with high net nutrient, healthful whole foods. You eat one apple, you're pretty much done. You eat one donut, you want more. Well, there is a reason for this, a very specific physiological, biological, biochemical reason for this that the big food conglomerates are very well aware. And briefly, hyperpalatable foods are broken into three main categories. Number one is their fat and sodium ratio, greater than 25% of the calories from fat, greater than 30% of sodium by weight. Number two, fat and simple sugars, 20% or more of the calories are from fat, 20% or more of the calories are from sugar. Number three, carbohydrates and sodium. 40% or more of the calories are from carbs, and then 20% of sodium by weight. Okay, and the conclusion is data derived, the HPF highly palatable food definition revealed that a substantial percentage of foods in the U.S. food system may be hyperpalatable. Yesterday, I just did a podcast with Sean Stevenson on his very popular The Model Health Show, and Sean dropped the stat that the U.S. population consumes approximately 60% of their food from hyperpalatable food sources. Now, this matters. Why does this matter? 60% of the food, maybe not you, the educated Dolce Diet audience, but 60% of your friends, of your family, of your neighbors, of your coworker, or no, 100% of your friends, your families, your neighbors, your coworkers consume 60% of their food from hyperpalatable food sources. Now, why does that matter? Let me pop in this screen. This is focused on individuals with eating disorder, and they were focused on the role of palatable food and hunger as a trigger factor in an animal model that induces binge eating. So again, the role of highly palatable food and binge eating. And as we go through, and I'll take us to the end, what we found was just a taste of highly palatable food sufficed to increase total food intake by more than 160%. What? Just a taste of hyperpalatable food increased food intake by 160% as compared to the control group that did not have hyperpalatable food as an option. They simply had their regular chow, which was just basic, food. They used it in an animal model. You can't really do some of this with humans. They used it in an animal model. But what they found that the animals that had access to the chow only or the chow and or hyperpalatable food, the animals that had access, that had one taste of the hyperpalatable food, boom, ate 160% more than the animals that did not. Now, back to you. Let's think about this. When you go out and you cheat on your diet, it's cheat day, it's Sunday fun day, it's a cheat meal. Based upon this scientific, validated evidence, we could surmise that because you eat these hyperpalatable meals, you choose these hyperpalatable food sources, what happens? You wind up eating far in excess of what you would normally eat, thereby extremely over exceeding your total caloric need for the day, for multiple days even. You're eating 160% more than you would normally eat simply by the first taste of your hyper palatable food ingestion. Now, let's move further. Got a bunch of science for you today, my friends. As we look here, drop me down. Now, binge eating disorder affects the outcome of comprehensive, very low calorie diet treatment. But we'll go down here and we'll come more towards the conclusion. Although there was no difference between, and I have to say here briefly, that the individuals in this study self-reported whether or not that they were chronic binge eaters or they were not. I'm not a chronic binge eater anymore. I would not self-report as a binge eater today. 20 years ago, when I was 280 pounds, I would report as a binge eater. And ironically or not, I was consuming mostly highly palatable foods. So this is self-reporting binge eaters, non-binge eaters as they went into this group. Now, what we see is, although there was no significant difference in mean weight loss at any of the 4 follow-up visits between subjects with and without binge eating disorder. Now, let me break this down briefly because you didn't read the research I did. The binge eaters and the non-binge eaters followed and adhered to a very low calorie diet. And they all followed the very low calorie diet. They followed it and they had similar weight loss during the period, during the term. But, and this is why it matters. This is why this matters. But 25% of the subjects with binge eating disorder regained 50% of their lost weight by the 3-month follow-up, with no subjects without the disorder gaining weight. Wow. And then I don't know how much further they went on, if they even did continue to go on with that. So what does that say? That says if you are living the life right now, if you are normalizing binge eating, which unfortunately that is the bodybuilding nomenclature, the bodybuilding thought model of, or fitness, I should say, general pseudo fitness of binge eating. Oh, have the cookie. And I make the joke about having the cookie. No, you can't have the cookie. You cannot give into the cookie, because you will eat a sleeve of cookies just as easily as you will eat one cookie, because we have the scientific model that shows one taste of highly palatable food increases total caloric ingestion by 160%. This is what those, evil corporations, that's what they do. That's what they do. They spend millions and tens of millions, and as a community, billions of dollars to make sure once you pop, you can't stop. That is their job. They don't want you to eat one Dorito. They want you to eat the whole bag, so you have to buy another bag daily. That's what they do. We know this to be true, my friends. And I wanted to briefly touch on, for those of you, well, this also matters. Highly palatable food during adolescence improves anxiety-like behaviors. As I go through, prolonged access to hyper-palatable foods during adolescence and youth partly improves anxiety-related symptoms. I throw that in here just so all the parents, and I am a parent, just so all the parents who have no problem feeding their children highly palatable foods, and that is breakfast cereal, that is chips, that is snacks, that is cookies. All the highly palatable foods have been shown to increase anxiety. Anxiety does what? Anxiety increases stress eating. Stress eating does what? Stress eating oftentimes is connected with the consumption of highly palatable foods, which creates more anxiety, which drives the individual to eat more highly palatable foods, which then creates more anxiety. So you see the circle, you see the cycle. Please leave your chats or your comments here in the chat. Now, what do I do? Do I cheat? That's the question. Do I cheat? No, I don't cheat. Cheating has a negative association. I have said this for, 15 or so years, publicly printed, that's been produced in content, at least. We do not cheat. We will have what we call an earned meal. What is an earned meal? An earned meal is an off-menu meal. Eat whatever you want with a very strict criteria around it. I say pick 2 meals a month. Your kid's birthday, your anniversary, it's the Super Bowl, it's the wedding that you're going to, whatever. No less than 10 days apart. Not every 7 days, at least 10 days. That gets it off the every Sunday. Can't be every Sunday. Every other Sunday at most with our model. At most with our model. But also, when I have my off-menu earned meals, what do I eat? I eat more of the food I already love. I eat more grass-fed steaks. I eat more homemade mashed potatoes. I may eat more of our power pasta. I eat more of our champion chili. I will go out and get a beautiful steak or whatever else it might be. We'll go out to eat, but I'm always eating the delicious, healthful whole foods. That is the difference. That is the difference. Now, if you are stuck, if you are struggling, if you just can't seem to make real progress on a monthly basis, when you look back, you're basically the same as you were last month. Well, likely it's because of this. Likely because you are binging too often on highly palatable foods. And when you creep into your kitchen late at night, what do you reach for? Do you reach for an apple? Do you reach for the frozen red grapes and the handful of cashews like we suggest? Now, that handful of salted cashews will cure that craving. That handful, that bowl of the frozen red grapes will cure the craving and reteach your brain to now push away the highly palatable foods and replace them with high net nutrient, healthful whole food options, which is what I have been doing now for 20 plus years. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here. If you like this type of content, short, quick, straight to the point clips, definitely subscribe to the channel so you're notified when videos like these come out. You might want to check out one of these videos for more great content guaranteed to make you laugh, make you think, and make your life better. Let's go.